Interaction Design and Exploring Core Interaction Styles, Part 1. Narrated by Lydia Ngami. Here is an overview of this lesson. Welcome to our deep dive into interaction design, the discipline that determines how people talk to computers and how computers respond. When we talk about interaction design, we are really talking about the bridge between human intent and machine execution. Every program, from a simple text editor to a complex network router, must decide on a method for that bridge, and that method directly influences how easy or difficult the software feels to use. The core idea is that there is no single best way to interact. Each style has its own strengths, weaknesses, and ideal user groups. Throughout this lecture we will examine 6 classic interaction styles, see how they differ, and understand when each one shines. By the end you will be able to match a style to a user need, just as a designer matches a tool to a job. The command style is one of the oldest interaction paradigms, dating back to early Unix shells and DOS prompts. In this model, the user types a command string that directly tells the computer what to do, and the computer replies with text output. Commands can be as brief as a single character, think of the Q to quit a program, or as descriptive as copy file 1 file 2. Because the interaction is purely textual, there is no visual clutter, but the user must remember the exact syntax and options. Experts often find command entry faster than any graphical alternative because it eliminates mouse movement and menu navigation. However, the learning curve can be steep for newcomers, and a single typo can cause an error or unexpected behavior. To understand why commands can be so powerful, consider the number of keystrokes needed to complete a typical task. A simple file rename using a command might require only 8 keystrokes, while the same operation via a menu could need 15 clicks and keystrokes combined. For novice users, the error rate rises sharply when they must recall exact command syntax, but for seasoned administrators the speed advantage translates into minutes saved each day. This efficiency is why system and network administrators still prefer command line interfaces for routine maintenance. The figure illustrates the average keystroke count across 4 interaction styles, highlighting the raw speed advantage of command entry. Menus present a list of choices that the user can pick by clicking or typing a shortcut. Unlike commands, menus do not require the user to remember exact wording, instead they simply need to recognize the option they want. This shift from recall to recognition aligns with cognitive research that shows people are better at recognizing familiar items than recalling them from memory. Menus dominate modern graphical user interfaces, from the drop-down menus in Windows applications to navigation bars on websites. They also support hierarchical organization, allowing complex functionality to be broken into logical groups. However, deep menu trees can increase the number of steps needed to reach a function, potentially slowing down expert users. When designing menus, the goal is to keep them intuitive while minimizing the number of clicks. Research suggests limiting menu depth to 3 levels. Deeper structures become hard to navigate and increase cognitive load. Grouping related commands together, such as all file-related actions under a file menu, helps users build mental models of where functions reside. Adding keyboard shortcuts, like Ctrl+S for save, blends the speed of commands with the visual guidance of menus. The pie chart shows that roughly 85% of menu interaction relies on recognition, reinforcing why menus are so user-friendly for beginners. Question and answer dialogues are a conversational style where the system prompts the user with a specific question and waits for a response. This approach breaks a complex task into a series of manageable steps, much like a guided interview. Users are not required to know the overall workflow, they simply answer each prompt as it appears. Wizards for installing software or configuring network devices often use this pattern, asking for details such as installation path, username, or security settings. While this style reduces the chance of user error, it can become tedious if too many questions are asked, or if the dialogue does not adapt to the user's prior answers. A typical setup wizard might consist of 5 sequential prompts, each taking roughly 30 seconds to answer. The line graph illustrates how the number of steps accumulates as the user progresses through the dialogue. While each individual question is simple, the total time can add up, especially if the user must pause to locate information. Completion rates tend to drop when wizards exceed 7 steps, so designers aim to keep the dialogue concise. Nevertheless, for tasks that require precise configuration, like setting up encryption keys, this stepwise approach ensures that no critical detail is missed. Form fill interaction presents the user with a series of labeled fields where information must be entered. This style is ubiquitous in web applications, from login screens to online shopping carts. Each field can enforce validation rules, such as requiring a numeric value or a properly formatted email address, which helps maintain data integrity. Autocomplete features can further speed up entry by suggesting common values based on previous inputs. However, long forms can be intimidating, and users may abandon the process if they perceive it as too burdensome. Good form design therefore balances the need for comprehensive data with a clear, progressive layout. Consider a typical registration form that asks for 8 required fields, such as name, email, and password, then 4 optional fields like a secondary phone number. On average, each field contains about 12 characters of input. The bar chart visualizes these numbers, showing the relative weight of required versus optional data. Studies have shown that each additional required field can increase completion time by roughly 15 seconds, underscoring the importance of minimizing mandatory inputs. Designers can improve usability by grouping related fields, providing clear labels, and offering inline help. Direct manipulation lets users interact with on-screen objects as if they were physical items. Instead of typing commands or selecting menu items, the user might drag a file icon to a folder, pinch to zoom, or rotate an image with a swipe. The key characteristic is immediate visual feedback. The object moves, changes size, or updates instantly, reinforcing the cause-effect relationship. This style feels natural because it mirrors real-world actions, making it especially effective for touch devices and graphic editors. While highly intuitive, direct manipulation can become less efficient for repetitive or precise tasks that require exact values, which are better served by command or form entry. To bring everything together, let's compare the 5 interaction styles across 3 key dimensions: efficiency for expert users, learnability for beginners, and flexibility for a range of tasks. The bar chart assigns each style a usability score out of 10 based on typical evaluations. Direct manipulation scores highest overall because its visual nature appeals to most users, while command entry excels in efficiency for seasoned users. Menus and form fill strike a balance, offering good learnability and moderate flexibility. Question and answer dialogues, though helpful for guided tasks, score lower on flexibility because they constrain the user to a predefined path. Understanding these trade-offs helps designers choose the right style for a given context. The final piece of the puzzle is deciding which interaction style best serves your target audience. If your users are power users or administrators, a command-driven interface can dramatically speed up their workflow. For general consumers accessing a website or desktop application, menus and direct manipulation provide an intuitive experience that reduces the learning curve. When a task requires precise data entry, such as filling out tax forms, a structured form fill approach with validation is ideal. For onboarding or configuration processes, the question and answer dialogue can guide users step by step. Ultimately, the best designs often blend multiple styles, offering shortcuts for experts while preserving discoverability for newcomers.